Hello there. Welcome to Healthy Cooking with your friendly Italians. I'm Jim Vero.
And I'm Marilyn Vero.
And today we have some very, very special guests from the Pretzel Factory Bakery. We have Paul and Laura Bentz, who are going to be talking about these wonderful pretzels and all the other wonderful things that they make right here in Seneca Falls. And we're very fortunate to have them here with us, and hopefully that you will be able to go and enjoy. So
now,
welcome.
this is on State Street.
Yes,
right
it
on
is.
the corner of State and what's the street?
Chapel.
Chapel.
Yes.
Right next to Love's Ice Cream. You can go have ice cream, and you can go have pretzels.
And I'm going to tell you about a great thing that you can have at both of these places a little later. We're going to hold on.
All right.
Okay. Plus, we have some recipes. We have Peter Koch's CRUSTY Italian bread. We have heirloom tomato
These
jam.
have been sent in by viewers, some recipes.
And at this time of the year, zucchini fritters. Plus, I've got some healthy hints. And I'm also going to talk about a special thing from Wegmans called cauliflower cream, which doesn't sound very good, but it is wonderful. And we're going to talk about the state winner for the wines at the state fair. I've got a rumor that I want to talk to you about. We're going to talk about festivals. We're going to be talking about a great deal on a wine dinner that is coming up, the farmers market, and much, much more.
But first,
and most important,
we
Yes.
want to discuss the new business in town called.
And we welcome you.
Yes.
We're glad to have you here in the community. A pretzel factory. Give us a little background.
How did you end up with a pretzel factory and a bakery?
Well, it's kind of a crazy story. So I was facing a downsizing from a company. I worked for a large employer, General Electric, and they tend to be selling off some businesses these days. So contemplating a relocation, my wife was taking a new job as well. Now, we were familiar with the area because we actually have a few rental homes on Cayuga Lake. So we've been coming here. We've been coming here for the last 3 years, so we're familiar with the area. But contemplating this move and this relocation to the Finger Lakes, the kids were kind of like, what could potentially be in it for us, And they had noticed that there really is no pretzel bakeries. Being from Pennsylvania, there's literally a pretzel bakery on every third corner.
Like a bank on every corner.
Pretty much. So we basically started out to ask around the community here in Seneca Falls as well as the Finger Lakes, would there be any reception for pretzels, soft pretzels mostly. And the funny story is people said to us, matter of fact, there are no pretzel bakeries around here. It sounds like a crazy thing. And what we thought was very interesting in addition to the pretzels is cheesecake.
Yes.
My wife Laura has been making a cheesecake since her adolescent years. For the last 35 years, she tells me. And matter of fact, she's baking the cheesecake, which is a large cheesecake. She even asked me, why do I have to make it so large? But it's when she's putting this cheesecake recipe together, for instance, it's about 12 pounds. Oh my goodness. It's not your average cheesecake. But the kids really were the catalyst for what's in it for us, and there's no pretzels up there in the Finger Lakes. Could we do something like that? So we looked into it, and we thought, what's a nicer thing to do than soft pretzels? And it was very, very well received from people we talked to about opening up a pretzel bakery.
And so you opened up at a location on State Street and the corner of State and
Chapel.
Right next to the ice cream parlor.
Yes.
And you opened up how long ago?
We opened up, was it July?
I think it's about
June.
9.5 weeks now.
Yeah, I think it was in July.
Might be 10 weeks even today.
Yeah.
Not quite. I think it might have been, we were waiting for that health approval to open the doors.
Sure.
So maybe like on a Tuesday 10 weeks ago, possibly.
Yes.
And we've been there, we've enjoyed it. You've got a lot of good things to offer. But let's start out with, I don't know the difference between how you make a pretzel and a loaf of bread. What is the difference and what makes it a pretzel?
So it's very interesting. It's not overly complicated. It can be a little bit labor intensive because there's a lot of steps to making pretzels.
Okay.
But there's basically two types of pretzels out there. There's, for instance, a sweet dough pretzel, and that's what we make.
All right.
And basically with the sweet dough pretzel, what we do is we use what might separate it from making, like, for instance, Italian bread, is we use not only a good quality bread flour, but we also use another flour, like an all-purpose low-protein flour. So basically, when I say it's a two-step rising process, that's
Okay.
what we like to use, a two-step rising process. So basically, it's simple ingredients from everything from an active yeast to a bread flour to an all-purpose flour, as well as some brown sugar, some salt, and water. And that's really the
interesting,
simple
yeah.
nature of it. Where it
Okay.
gets labor intensive is the two-step rising process. So basically what you have to do is mix all the ingredients. You have to give them time to rise. And when I say give them time to rise, we mix the dough and the ingredients together without over kneading, so about 5 to 7 minutes. And then we have to let that rise for approximately 30 minutes to an hour.
Now, I assume you have machines. that
Yes,
do
we
that.
do. We do. We do use commercial mixers, a planetary mixer, so on and so forth. So once the ingredients are mixed and risen, basically it's as easy as then that's when the labor starts. We have to basically separate the dough, roll it into long strings. Generally, some of our employees think we're crazy because we're saying the longer you can roll it, basically the better pretzel that it produces. So we're trying to get 24 to 30 inches long on the table. And then we twist the pretzel, and the double rising actually occurs at that point. What we do is then we basically we soak it in a bicarbonate bath,
Which has been
Oh,
warmed.
okay.
Right.
which has been warmed.
Almost a bagel-like type of.
Similar.
Absolutely.
We're not boiling them.
Correct.
Some people do boil them. We're
Yeah.
not boiling them, but we warm the sodium bicarbonate in the oven, and then to the point where you can still use your hands to soak it without burning yourself.
Sure. And then we place them on a baking sheet, and then we basically let them rise for 5 minutes, and then put them in the oven.
Alright.
They don't need to overly cook, but we do have quite an investment in our bakery here.
Yes.
We probably have somewhere on the upwards of $35,000 to $50,000 worth of commercial equipment.
Wow.
Okay.
And that doesn't even touch upon the improvements we've made to the building
Well,
to
yes.
allow that.
Yes.
So-
Now, do you put, and I'm going back to my mentality as an Italian, where you spray, when you bake bread, you
Yes.
spray it. Do you spray the pretzels?
What we do is not necessarily a need to mist them, but we do.
Mist them is a better word.
Yeah, one of the labor intensive parts is actually we egg bath every single pretzel before it goes into the
Okay,
oven.
so
so
that
that
gives
gives
us some
it- yeah.
moisture.
Yes.
You're also dipping it in the water too.
Yes.
So we actually dip it
okay.
into the water, and then we let it. We touch it on a cloth, then to get some of the remaining water off.
Right.
Set it on the tray, and then we egg bath them.
Oh, all right.
Well,
And
whatever.
it's an egg yolk that we use actually.
It's great.
They're
It's
wonderful.
wonderful.
Now, you use several different flavors in your pretzels, though.
In
We
terms
do.
of- yes.
We do.
That's the fun of it.
The fun of it is basically when you use a sweet dough pretzel, then it lends you the opportunity to basically customize it unlimited.
All right.
To an unlimited possibility. But you're right. We offer, to the chagrin of my wife and the kids and the employees, sometimes we probably offer too many varieties of
I see.
traditional pretzels.
Okay.
We have about 11 different traditional pretzels.
All right.
So we actually brought some with us. In
Yes,
terms of a
please
sample,
show them.
I can show you. You can see them in here.
Yeah, just put it up a little bit, I think.
So-
Let me.
If you want to, let me. You could start eating them and tell us what
Can I
you
have
think.
one?
This is the specialty one. And I'll
Oh.
give you another one. Let's see.
Look
This
at here.
is the cinnamon sugar.
There's nuts on it,
Okay.
and there's a glaze on it.
All right. So
Wow.
here look at the size of them, first of all. They're a wonderful size.
Look at this.
So that looks
You
really
keep
good.
talking. I'm eating.
You're going to eat. So, all right. So he has a nut, you said?
We basically brought you 4 of some of the best sellers.
All
So
right.
basically we brought a traditional salted pretzel,
Okay.
garlic parmesan pretzel, that's very popular. So 2 savories and 2 sweets. And the sweetest
Jim.
one, we brought you a toasted caramel and cashew,
That's what I got. That's
yes,
good.
and a cinnamon and sugar.
That's
So
wonderful.
we went with savory and sweet.
Let's go.
Absolutely wonderful. Did you get yours yet, Jim?
No, not yet. I'll wait till after the show.
Okay. Wonderful.
And then people really can't get past the fact that this is just where it starts from a traditional pretzel. Then we, of course, have pretzels that are infused with sweet cream, cheddar and jalapeno, and then we have some pretzel wraps. And so the reason we added bakery on there really is so we could be more than just a pretzel bakery. And what I mean by that is we actually are able to serve people foods and goods from breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Right, you do.
Yes.
You have sandwiches. You also have wonderful baked goods like the cheesecake and other kinds of things. But
Yes.
For breakfast, you provide, what is a typical breakfast?
Well, breakfast, we actually have a lot of options for breakfast.
Okay.
Whether you're looking for light fare, and what I mean by that is that could be as easy as just a croissant or a scone or something of that
Yes.
nature. But then we have several choices for breakfast sandwiches as well. So we make some breakfast sandwiches. Some of them are on the healthier side, like a turkey, bacon, cheese, and biscuit. But we also have a full, cafe menu along with those, as well as coffee menu, from everything from the popular lattes that everybody's drinking these days to cappuccinos to regular coffee.
Okay, so now your hours, somebody can go early in the morning and get coffee? So your
Yes.
hours are starting earlier, right?
With the change with the season, we decided to be open at 6:30, starting on Mondays. So we start Monday 6:30 through Friday, and then we're open until 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
8 o'clock on those.
Wow, it's a long day.
Friday night we stay later till 10, and then on Saturday we're opening up a little bit later than the 6:30. We're opening up at 10.
Yep.
And then we're going to stay open until 10 on Saturday. Sunday, we've been opening up at 10:30 and then staying open until about 7:30.
Okay.
And we're going to see how the community responds.
Great.
We're hoping that they'll learn about our extra things that we're adding, like the coffees and the lattes and the cappuccinos.
Well,
and
yeah. And you can go in there, you can have breakfast,
You can have lunch. You can actually have a
Now,
light
you haven't
a
talked
dinner.
about the piece de resistance, which is the pretzel and a hot dog.
Oh, everybody loves those.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're wonderful.
Thank you.
Are they Hoffman hot dogs?
They are.
They are. We've decided, why mess with quality? I mean, the
Right.
Hoffman hot dog gives certainly people throughout the Finger Lakes what they're looking for, right?
Right.
A quality hot dog. So basically, we have them available in red hots and white hots. If you happen to be from the Syracuse area, you're probably calling them conies.
Right.
Right.
That
So we
that was what I grew up
Yeah.
with because I was born and raised in Auburn. So yes.
Yeah. So we
That
wanted
was
to
a
stay
familiar
with the
name.
quality, and it really makes for a very inexpensive, pretty substantial snack or meal, which we feel real comfortable about. And then we do run on a regular basis, but as a special, not every day, a Gianelli sausage,
right.
That
wrap
comes from my side, being
pretzel.
Polish.
Yeah.
I love the sausages.
Right.
I saw these
Right.
little wimpy hot dog things. I said, we need to make it with a sausage,
Sausage.
too.
Well, that sounds
You're
good.
going to have the garlic.
And I
Right.
do the hot sausage, too.
Okay.
And so you can go have, you can eat 3 meals a day there. Now, you said something, the possibility of bringing some beer and wine in, too.
That's true, yes. We just started the process for applying for some permitting then to do that.
So what fun and an evening to go have some pretzels and beer and
Now,
you can have root beer right now because
Yeah.
they
Oh,
make
that's right.
wonderful.
Absolutely.
They have to
Hop
tell us
is
about
wonderful.
their sodas. Those are wonderful
now
too.
what I do is I go buy a bottle of your wonderful root beer,
Okay.
and I go next door and get some vanilla ice cream and
And the
mix
custard.
the two a custard. It's wonderful.
And then you have a
Nice.
root beer float.
Nice. What we did is when we started coming up with the concept
Yes.
for the Pretzel Factory, we wanted to differentiate just the regular dispensed beverages, the regular products.
Right.
So we said, what can we do? And then what we noticed is, where are the Americana type sodas anymore? Where is
Right.
grape soda? Where is orange cream,
Sarsaparilla.
birch beer, black cherry, all the things
Cream
that were
soda,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go to a picnic when we were younger, and we would have a variety of those sodas.
Yes.
And you look forward to, I'm going to get a black cherry soda.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you don't see it anymore. And then to make it more fun for folks, what we decided to do is, why can't we name them after the Finger Lakes? This is a beautiful place we live
Sure,
in.
right.
Every Finger Lake and every water feature, waterfall is very unique and can hit home to somebody's heart with where they've traveled. And so we named the sodas. We contemplated naming the sodas, and we have
Well,
after
you're
all
leaving one
the
step
all the
out.
lakes.
We got the whole corporation together,
Yeah.
which is us and the children.
All right, well, this is
And we said,
Board
okay,
meeting.
these are the lakes, the names of the lakes, and to learn all 11 lakes was the first challenge. And then we tried to come up with names that made sense, whether it was going to be Great Gully Falls Ginger Ale, or
Right.
and then we had fun trying to figure out what we were going to use alliteration. It was almost a learning experience.
So,
The
do
quality
you
of-
bottle these yourself, or you have them done?
What we've done is we don't have bottling equipment per se. So what we've done is we've come up with some recipes, and we've come up with all the marketing and the bottles and picked all that out. And we've given it to an outside bottler.
Oh, that's
You know, but it's our creation, our idea, our
I
soda.
know. Are those sold anyplace else besides the Pretzel Factory?
They
Not yet.
not
Not yet.
currently. Not
We
currently.
have some people asking us about
Yep.
it. The soda is actually one of the things that we did almost as a labor of love.
Yeah.
Because it was something we wanted to do.
Okay.
And so we have to make a financial decision on if we want to then
Wholesale
sell
it
it
there.
wholesale
Yep.
somewhere else, just to decide what business we want to be in and things like
Right.
that.
And you are packaging some of your pretzel products, and you are
Do you sell
selling
those
them,
outside of your-
outside of the store?
Yeah, we have started to, you know, the fresh made products such as soft pretzels are better consumed generally
Right away.
right away.
Yes.
Just
done the
just like
farmers
a lot of
markets.
pretzel factories, and we've to get the soft pretzel factory to get the soft pretzels out into the community. What we've done is started to do a lot of farmers markets, festivals, wherever we can take advantage. As far as putting product available, yes, but we've reached out to a lot of the wineries and a lot of the
great.
breweries and the
Yeah.
craft distilleries about more or less. I call them beer pretzels, but they're the old sourdough in a
Right.
bag pretzels. You know, sometimes even
favorite-
better as
Chocolate-covered
pieces than they are.
pretzels?
We do have chocolate covered
My
pretzels.
favorite is the ones that have peanut butter in them.
Yeah, there
That's
you
I come by those. And also, they make incredible chocolate covered treats out of with the pretzels. Now, there's a bark that I absolutely adore with dark chocolate. You do, so that has what in it?
We're making a bark that is reminiscent of what I remember it as a kid was more or less called a boardwalk crunch or a
Right.
boardwalk. And basically, why is it called that? It's called that because you can find some dark or milk chocolate in it, pretzels, popcorn, believe it or not, caramel. So it's kind of all the things, maybe minus the
absolutely-
saltwater
yes.
taffy that you
Yes.
would find on a
Well,
on
we've got a
boardwalk.
lot more we want to talk to you about.
Sure,
but I want to get out. We always give the people some recipes, so we're gonna interject some recipes, and then we'll come right
Sure.
back to you. Okay.
Thank you.
The recipes we got this week are from some of our listeners. Peter Koch has come up with a better, if that's possible, a crusty Italian bread that you make in a bread maker that has got a real nice crust.
Very
to it.
good. It
Makes
really is.
tremendous toast. You should try that. That's available. And our friend out in the state of Washington, Sherry Tillett, who came up with the cookies, the rosemary.
We did those before. Rosemary, they were, yeah,
Yeah, whatever they were.
well,
They were good.
has sent us an heirloom tomato jam.
This time of the year,
Which
go
is
to the
a-
farmer's market, get some heirloom tomatoes, and make a heirloom tomato jam. That recipe is available. Very simple to make. It'll stay in the refrigerator for a couple of weeks, or you can put it in containers and freeze it. It's not a canning process per se. So you should take a look at that. And this time of the year, zucchinis are very, very plentiful. They're all over. They're inexpensive, and you can do a lot of things with them. And the Italian Heritage comes out with us in the zucchini fritters. that are easy to make, and these fritters have a little dill in it, a little feta cheese. They're not so much Italian, but they're really good, and you're squeezing out the water out of it, and those are very good. So those are 3 recipes that we have. Also, we're going to talk about this some more. Wegmans came out with their magazine this week on what they can do with what they call Cal Cream, which is cauliflower cream without the cream. And we're going to talk more about that in coming weeks. We've got some things going on in the community that I want to talk about. We have a wine dinner coming up at the Gould Hotel.
Yes, we do, from
the
Lamoureux.
Riesling wine dinner is coming up.
I think that's on the 24th of September.
Listen to
You
this.
need to make
5 course,
reservations, though.
5 course, 5 wines. The total, including tax and tip, is $45. Now, if you back out the tax and tip, you're looking at dinner.
And the dinner is, you should go
5-course dinner
online
with wine
and check
for
that out.
$35,
Yeah.
plus the tax and tip. So you should take a look at that. There's all kinds of festivals going on. The biggest festival of the year is coming on in Naples, the Grape Festival, which is in a couple weeks. You should take a look at that. There's a festival where you go and you can stomp on the grapes coming up. There is the German festival coming up at, can't think of the name of the, wait a second, I'll find it. Fill me in, Marilyn, while I find it.
All right, well, I think I'm going to tell them.
Purple Foot Festival, the Lucas at German.
It's at Lucas Winery.
Right? And Buttonwood has a foliage festival. So
All right.
you should look at all of those. And so now, let's get back to the most important topic.
Well, we want to talk about the pretzel factory being both at the farmers market, which is tomorrow.
Yeah, farmers market.
And
right.
you are at the farmers market now, right? Providing you provide lunch, is it, or pretzels? What?
We start off in the morning. First tray we bring down is our breakfast pastries.
All
So we
right.
bring those down right away after we've gotten set up, and then we then bring the next trays down, which would be our regular pretzels and our wraps and our pretzel dogs, which we talked about. And we also bring down some of the soda just to give people a taste of what we
Great.
have.
Yeah.
And it's been a great opportunity, incredible view. And by the way, I did check the weather tomorrow because we were just at the tomato festival.
That's what I was going to mention.
And that did take a lot out of me. Tomorrow is going to be beautiful and
know.
about 80 degrees. So it's a nice venue, lots of people, beautiful vegetables, not just what we're doing, but the options you
It's a
have down
great
there are
thing
great.
to have the
It's
market
really nice.
here. It really is.
I mean,
good.
it's such a pleasure that you can go right downtown Seneca Falls, in the middle of Seneca Falls, and get all this wonderful produce. And we're always promoting, farm to table, and that's certainly farm
Yeah.
to table. The zucchini fritters, the cauliflower, he's going to talk about all those good things. It's wonderful.
Now, anytime in the future, would you consider making bagels? Is that a possibility?
We've actually talked about it. The story about what you had said earlier, Jim, about making Italian bread. So I made Italian bread. Okay, we're saying we have a 2-step rising process with our pretzels. That's about a 10-step process for making Italian bread.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever made a great Italian bread outside of like a bread mixer,
Right.
Or a bread machine. Literally, I want to say I pulled the Italian bread out of the oven about 7 times for misting
Yeah,
and for
right.
olive oil and
all
such.
those good things.
It was absolutely delicious. However, talking about a labor-intensive process.
sure.
So these are the decisions we'd have to make about bagels, for instance, because it would require some additional equipment. But the one thing we did notice is this. We did notice there was a real absence in Seneca Falls recently, in a true bakery where people could come and
Right.
have coffee and sit down, use our Wi-Fi, because we have Wi-Fi there, free
That's
Wi-Fi and
good
such.
to know.
And more than just calling it a bakery, call it more like a community gathering place. Whether you're coming to sit and have a cup of coffee and talk to folks. We've been very, very lucky because we have had different groups, whether it be employees from Gould come in, have a meeting, or people from the Chamber of Commerce, or different organizations, which is great. And we just want people to know that is available. You know,
That's
you could
great.
come in and use
what
it.
do you find your biggest sellers are?
Well,
Well, we did a survey actually, because we can look at all the statistics. with
Sure,
these great
of
computer
course, you would
systems
want to
we
know
use
that,
now.
right?
They can track everything. So for August, which was our busiest month, I think, after we first
Mm-hmm.
opened, our #1 seller, after all the variety and options we give people, salted butter. The
Salted butter, it's
the
delicious.
simplest,
I
most
just
basic
tried it.
one.
And it is, I tasted 3 of
Yeah.
them, the salted butter. I like the salted butter, yes.
Second choice, most favorite one was the one that you had tried, the cinnamon sugar, which we dip in the butter and then roll in cinnamon sugar. And then for this community, the third most popular was the garlic, chased most closely by garlic parmesan.
Okay.
So that's what
That
the,
would really
the
be
community
up my- I
here
gotta
seems to
try that
prefer
one.
right now.
Also, this is going back when I used to go to New York City, and my mother always used to say to me, "Now, when you go to New York City, Jim, you got to go to Lindsay's, and you got to bring
Lindy's,
back
yeah.
a cheesecake." Well, guess what, people?
You can
We
get them
have
here.
it right here in Seneca
You can
Falls.
get really good cheesecake.
I'm so excited.
you.
Cheesecakes that you're making, which there's no place else. A good cheesecake you cannot beat, and you are making those.
I am. The hardest part to that is actually having the quiet period for the oven.
Yeah.
So I tend to do them in the evenings when the store is actually closed, because I don't want the oven to be opened up to warm something up, or
Yeah.
because
Right.
it's such a process to get it to rise, and then
Right.
to get it not to wobble, and then to
Right.
cool without cracking.
Right. So that's great.
But as
So-
Paul had said, it's my old childhood recipe that I had.
Yeah.
And,
That's
um,
wonderful.
and
Right.
it is a traditional New York style. And what
Right.
I mean by that is, in my opinion, best served by itself.
Straight
Yes,
up.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And what we've done is we've made it in a way where really a slice is more than enough for one person. It's actually meant for 2. It's like
Yeah.
10 to 11 ounces for a slice.
I know a bunch of us came in for lunch and we shared it, and it was great. That's
you.
what, because
So
of,
you have we thank you for coming to Seneca Falls. You are added to this community and are giving this community a lot. We appreciate that, and you can get all kinds of wonderful things. Not only just plain bagels,
And,
but all kinds of things, and pop and all.
you have a website that people
You
can
get
go
coffee
on
there, too.
and figure out the menu and everything. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about your wonderful new enterprise?
Just that my wife had mentioned we're looking to expand with beer and wine, and those beers and wines would actually be focused on probably like a German craft style beer,
Right.
Which would
be-
make sense,
you know,
yes.
to go along with the pretzels. But just we're they're long hours, but we're having fun doing it, and we wanted to thank yourselves as well as the community, because they've been very
And
receptive.
your kids are enjoying this new enterprise?
Yes,
They're actively involved. You'll see
yeah.
them at the cash register.
Well,
helping
that's
people.
important.
Yeah, it's a family enterprise.
If you have a family that can work together and eat together and be together, that's what it's all
Well, it's
about.
not always
people.
perfect.
Well, you're always gonna have
no
something.
I
family.
did mention they do have some Italian in them.
Right, well, that's good.
That's good.
That's good. We think that's wonderful.
So we thank you very much.
Thank
you
very
you
much.
for
Thanks for
being
having
with
us.
us. And next time don't forget the farmers market tomorrow.
Exactly. And you can visit them at the farmer's
Yes,
market.
and the apples and the pears and
Well,
all
the
these wonderful
squashes are going to be
pretzels.
all
Yeah.
this stuff is going to be coming in that we think of as fall
Right.
and the fall
Can't wait.
fruits.
And next time we're going to have Bill Legatt. Billy Legatt is probably one of the best restaurateurs in the area from Torrey Park, the best Italian restaurant in the area, I think. And
Geneva.
his chef is going to be here with him, so we're going to be talking with him. So we hope you enjoyed. We're glad that you were with us, and try the recipes. Go have some pretzels, and we will see you next time. Buongiorno.
Ciao, everyone.
Ciao.
Thank you.